Batu Kitang. Yang Muhammad.
Thank you, Tuan Speaker. Masuk ke hutan berempat-empat, belah bulu bersegi-segi. Tahun depan 2024, semoga bajet ditambah lagi. Pantai Dahan indah berseri, tempat berkunjung muda dan mudi. Segala kemudahan telah diberi, rakyat menerima senang hati. Thank you, Dato' Speaker, for the honor and the opportunity to debate Yang Amat Berhormat, the Premier of Sarawak's address, at this second meeting of the second session of the 19th Sarawak State Legislative Assembly. I support and congratulate Yang Amat Berhormat, the Premier of Sarawak, for his articulate budget speech and his success in getting the highest ever budget of 12.749 billion for the first time in Sarawak's history, where 66% of the budget will go into development. First, I would like to congratulate Yang Amat Berhormat Premier for his visionary and admirable helming of our state through good and challenging times. Our Honourable Prime Minister acknowledges this as well. No Prime Minister has ever held their Federal Cabinet meeting in Kuching, and on top of that, inviting the Premier of Sarawak to address the Federal Cabinet. Dato' Speaker, our Malaysian ringgit has been on a consistent decline for the past 10 years compared to other currencies from neighboring countries such as Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, China. The federal government needs to examine whether excessive red tape in its trade and investment policy is hindering foreign investment into Malaysia. In contrast, in Sarawak, our exports are thriving, and we are going from strength to strength. Sarawak, currently in second position in terms of economic development in the country, is now focusing on harnessing the potential to double its gross domestic product by 2030. YAB Premier said, based on the last statistics, Sarawak is currently behind Johor, followed by the Federal Territory of Kuala Lumpur and Selangor. Sarawak's GDP was 142.2 billion in 2022, only 2 billion less than Johor, which was 144 billion then. With hard work and added value in the economy, there is a substantial opportunity to achieve a GDP of 280 billion by 2030. Sarawak's new economy has become the envy of many states in Malaysia, to the extent that even before the Federal Cabinet held its meeting at the State Secretariat in Kuching at Wisma Bapak, Malaysia, in September this year, our Honourable Prime Minister extended a request to our Premier to give a talk to MPs and CMs on the new economy that Sarawak has adopted. Our Honourable YAB Premier delivered a 30-minute speech imparting knowledge to federal leaders on hydrogen, green economy, state development, and fostering harmonious living. It is gratifying to see that the value and contributions of Sarawakians are acknowledged and recognized, and we take immense pride in having a leader of such distinction and merit. Dato' Speaker, a great example where Sarawak political leaders promote a peaceful and harmonious Sarawak is the setting up of the Unit of Other Religions, UNIFOR. UNIFOR assists religions other than Islam, as Sarawak's resources belong to people of all faiths. It looks after 16 different religious groups Sarawak is the best example for many states when it comes to interracial and interreligious harmony. This harmony and religious freedom has been strongly endorsed by Sarawak leaders, including our Yang Amat Berhormat Premier. Our Yang Amat Berhormat Premier administers and helps all in Sarawak. He is dignified enough not to speak ill of other religions, and he encourages the people of Sarawak to unite as one, regardless of race and religion. This has in turn encouraged other organizations in Sarawak to call for more racially integrated activities to enhance unity among all Sarawakians. Our late Chief Minister Tok Nan, who took one single day to recognize UEC in Sarawak, used to say that we are one big family. We should not let race and religion divide us. Let us instead find peace, harmony, and strength in diversity. Dr. Speaker, our Yang Amat Berhormat Premier has the foresight to know that an educated population will bring Sarawak to greater heights in many ways. Yang Amat Berhormat Premier aims to provide free tertiary education to all state-owned universities by 2026, and which should be achievable given the state's robust economic strength under the current dynamic and very stable GPS government. As promised by our Honourable Yang Amat Berhormat Premier and addressed in his budget speech, the first state-owned international school in Sarawak has entered its second year of operation in Putrajaya in Kuching, and the second international school located at Mount 12 Kuching Syrian Road is scheduled to be completed at the end of this year. However, I remember not too long ago, member for Padungan was shouting at the top of his voice in this August House, swinging Pakatan Harapan manifesto and say, when Pakatan Harapan wins the election, education autonomy will be returned to Sarawak. No need to beg. Tapi, cakap sahaja. Yeah, he's not here, unfortunately. Never mind. He knows what I'm saying. Our Yang Amat Berhormat Premier has also set up a sovereign fund, wealth fund, for our future generations following the footsteps of Norway, Singapore, and Sweden's sovereign wealth fund. Sarawak Sovereign Wealth Fund aims to ensure that the generated interests will be dedicated to education, economic fortification, statewide infrastructure development, and with Sarawak's record-breaking revenue of 11 billion last year, and an even bigger budget of more than 12 billion this year, the state's trajectory is on a positive upswing. Dr. Speaker, the federal government has been dragging its feet in addressing the much-needed repairs of schools throughout Sarawak. Thus, it is of utmost importance that education autonomy be returned to Sarawak so that urgent issues are resolved quickly, especially as it concerns the safety of our students and teachers. Not too long ago, our federal deputy education minister has confirmed that the Ministry of Education, MOE, is slow in releasing funds for dilapidated schools. And this was while answering a parliamentary question from member of Stampin, saying that we have 462 dilapidated schools in Sarawak, which are in need of serious attention, but only 11 schools will be repaid in 2024. At the rate it is going, the unity government will take 42 years to repair all the dilapidated schools in Sarawak. For the record of this June, the federal MOE spent only 2.5 billion from 2016 to 2023 for schools in Sarawak, compared to the 2.7 billion our YAB Premier spent on education-related matters in Sarawak from 2020 to 2023. 3 years only. It is high time that education autonomy and money due to Sarawak on education matters be promptly and urgently returned to Sarawak for us to repair our schools and for us to decide our own education syllabus. When education autonomy is returned to Sarawak, Sarawak will no longer need to follow the federal stance of chop and change education programs and the constant shifts from English to BM and back again. These indecisive federal education programs have created so much confusion for students and parents over the years, leading to a devastating drop in academic excellence. Dr. Speaker, in 2020, the Sarawak government, under our YAB Premier's directive, made a significant move of investing 11 million to implement programs teaching mathematics and science in English to Year 1 students in all primary schools in Sarawak. Today, in Yang Amat Berhormat Premier's budget speech, Yang Amat Berhormat Premier reaffirmed his commitment to continue to improve the standard of English while providing a strong foundation in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM, education for our students. Kudos to YAB Premier. This investment is crucial as it enhances students' proficiency in these subjects, aligning them with global standards. English proficiency in these fields not only facilitates international communication, but also opens doors to a broader range of educational and career opportunities for students in an increasingly interconnected world. We are fortunate to have a Premier who upholds and protects our right to use English in Sarawak. Sarawak is the only state that has fully implemented the teaching of science and mathematics in English under the dual language program Sarawak, as mentioned by YAB Premier in his budget speech. However, I encourage all Sarawakians of all races to work hard at improving our BM proficiency, Bahasa Malaysia proficiency, as this is our national language and it is our language of respect and unity for all Malaysian, for our Malaysian culture. Dr. Speaker, the areas of Greenwood Park, Taman Emas, Taman Paradise are at around Patuk Similan, my constituency. Kampong Kuop at Batu Splu, also my constituency, experience flash floods each time there is a heavy downpour of rain, and that happened just a few days ago. I wish to request our GPS government through DID federal government to consider my request to plan, propose, and to alleviate flooding in these areas. The issue of major flooding comes under the purview of the Drainage and Irrigation Department, and major funds comes from the Federal Drainage Irrigation Department. More often than not, permission for projects to be implemented as well as funding requires the approval of the federal government. I implore upon the Honourable Member for Stampin, who is also member for Padungan in this August House, to bring this flooding issue up in Parliament and request the Federal Minister in charge to look into this comprehensive study of our flooding problem, to provide the necessary funding and to solve the problem. Dato' Speaker, recently there appear to be a number of coffee shops in the towns which may have been used for illegal gambling, online activities, illegal online activities. And this has led to an escalation of small-scale thieving and reports of robberies in the area. One contributing factor appears to be the limited police patrol and personnel presence with limited patrol vehicles available in the Padawan area. There is also very limited CCTV coverage in the area as well. I would like to express my appreciation to YAB Premier for the initiation of our security officers and Coast Guard under Unit Keselamatan dan Penguatkuasa Sarawak. If I may, I would like to suggest that further strengthening of these forces could be considered, possibly in collaboration with our federal officers. This collaborative effort could effectively address and mitigate illegal activities and increase security in our area. Dato' Speaker, the importance of CCTVs cannot be underestimated. These have been a source of reassurance in terms of personal safety for our rakyat. I hope the number of CCTVs installed will continue to increase. Additionally, the enhancement of Ronda activities may potentially contribute to an improved overall security situation in Sarawak. An indication of how important CCTVs are to greatly assist our law enforcers in curbing illegal activities and ensure a safety city. Singapore has 90,000 CCTV cameras today and plan to have 200,000 by 2030. Not very far from us. And I wish to respectfully inquire how many CCTVs are going to be installed in major towns and cities throughout Sarawak, and what would be the anticipated time frame for such a milestone. Dato' Speaker, I wish to request for an access road linking Jalan Stephen Yong with Jalan Batu Kitang Junction towards Jalan Lande at the back of RPL Lande, access through the back of RPL Lande. This road will ease the travelling distance along Jalan Lande to Jalan Stephen Yong. We don't have to go around Batu Splu and come out and make a big round. And also ease traffic congestion along Jalan Lande and Kuching Syrian Road. Many developments and housing estates are mushrooming along Jalan Lande, and this proposed access road is needed very badly. Dato' Speaker, it is high time that the federal government recognizes the need to have a trans-Borneo railway linking Sabah and Sarawak to Brunei and Indonesia, as we are lagging far behind on road and rail transportation compared to Malaysia. Malaya siphons 80 billion from Sarawak annually, but our infrastructure is far behind that of Malaya. Without any doubt, the Territorial Sea Act and the Petroleum Development Act 74 is an unfair deal for Sarawak. I urge the federal government to seriously consider turning the Trans-Borneo Railway into reality to accelerate development and provide an alternative public transport option for Sarawak and Sabah. Our visionary leader, our YAB Premier, has been pushing for this proposal to go through. Transport Minister Federer has agreed to a feasibility study. However, we would like to emphasize the need for prompt and tangible action. Not just the carrying out of years of feasibility studies, which could be flushed down the drain again and again anytime there is a change of government. That was what happened to our Pan-Borneo Highway. The building of the Pan-Borneo Highway was mentioned more than 10 years ago. Then after the 2018 election, 3 billion was slashed by the new Pakatan Harapan government on the premise that the project management consultant was not necessary. To this day, the Pan-Borneo Highway is yet to be completed. The Trans-Borneo Railway project is estimated to cost 63.3 billion. However, the high-speed railway between KL and Singapore, currently under discussion, is estimated to cost 110 billion. And this KL-Singapore railway only serves to bring added comfort to elite travelers. I hope our member for Padungan, also member for Stampin, can remind our Federal Transport Minister that because Sarawak contributes 80 billion annually to the national coffers, the KL-Singapore Railway project should be set aside for now and ensure that the Trans-Borneo Railway takes precedence. The railway project is of utmost importance to boost Sarawak's economy, not just for the elite, like in Semenanjung, Malaysia. Indonesia is already improving its rail transport in Kalimantan, and if Sarawak is not doing that, we stand to lose a great deal. In addition to connecting cities around Borneo Island, this railway will also provide access to the interior for mining operations and transportation of raw materials, thereby speeding up the development of the rural areas of Sarawak and Sabah. Rail is a smart, sustainable, and an efficient way to move freight and people. The federal government cannot give lame excuses such as low population density in the East Malaysia, non-profitability, and try to shelve the proposal based on these excuses. 80 billion being siphoned is a lot of money. Implementing public transport such as the one and only railway network in Sarawak should not be considered for profits at all, but as an investment by the federal government to improve the region's wider economy. It is time to give back to Sarawak what is dutifully ours after 60 years of independence. How many more barrels of oil worth billions does Malaya need to siphon from us before it decides Sarawak's deserve to get at least one railway line?
Can close now, Yang Berhormat.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I will do the crossing. Finally, I wish to take this opportunity to congratulate member for N67, Jepak, for his convincing victory in the recently concluded election, and which has affirmed the Rakyat's unwavering support for GPS under YAB Premier. Dr. Speaker, Christmas is approaching, and I wish to take this opportunity to wish honourable members of this House a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. With that, thank you very much, Dr. Speaker.